Watch Who?
And welcome to To Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to watching Who.
Yep, watching for the very first time.
Very first time.
Yes, and I have to mention it, we are recording really close, and I just need to get used to it. So we are back in person here, but we're at my work. We've set up here.
It's a Sunday afternoon.
Sunday, yeah.
And there's a bit of a gap, and I was like, let's record in person.
So, I have to say, stop, don't move. No?
Oh, yeah. I'm with it now.
My intro. There we are. That's my intro.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we're outside the hopscotch.
We're at the hopscotch, yeah.
But what did he call it?
Venusian hopscotch, I think.
That was it.
So it's Death of the Daleks this week, if you hadn't guessed. A couple of little updates. Oh, we had some sad news a few weeks ago. Cliff Stewart Bevan passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
by
was
the time
sad.
this goes out, it'll have been a few weeks ago, but it was this week to us recording now, yeah.
Yeah, that was sad, because he just won our Icon Award of the season. So...
Classic.
Yeah, that's sad. But I'm really glad that I got to meet him and he put his head on my shoulder in that photo.
Have you shared that photo?
Nice. Yeah,
okay,
we put it out. Okay. So that makes it even more special, I think. So he was a really nice person to meet and obviously appreciated his time in Doctor Who.
Yes.
That was nice.
Yeah.
And also, I have met two icons of Who.
Oh,
two women of Who.
Who've you met, Mark?
Well, first off, Lady Thal Rebek.
Lady Thal Rebek.
From Planet the Daleks. The lady, somewhere on this planet there are 10,000 Daleks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, Jane Howe.
Yeah.
She was so nice. She was lovely. She was great. She signed my Blu-ray and I said how much I liked Planet of the Daleks, and it was one of the first ones I saw. I saw it on the big screen, and I said I'd come down especially to see her because, she'd done some other signings before, and I wasn't able to go, and I was like, I have to. She's in my favourites, one of my favourite stories. I had, and she was like, "Oh, do you want a photo or something?" I was like, "No." So I had a photo with her and Katie Manning. In the photo studio, which was really nice. I was
you could have had a sneaky free one, though.
Yeah, I know, but I felt like, but I was like, no, it's fine. I've got one booked with you later, so that was nice. And also, ultimate icon, Miss Garrett.
Oh, I can't believe it's on Miss Garrett.
But the only thing is, right, you've seen the photo,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think she was sat down because of bit of social distancing or something like that.
Yeah,
she is quite old. I didn't get anything signed by her or anything. But I did see her at the table. She was chatting to people. So I didn't see her face until the photo had been developed. Because she was sat there, right? And there was another chair for the person to have the photo taken.
Yeah.
Which was sort of slightly behind. So they were like, don't move the chair, go and sit. So she was there with her her pose, with her back sort of to me, and I came round, sat down, and sort of said hello. But she didn't. She was looking the opposite direction the whole time, and she was just sat there like ready. Didn't say anything to me at all. And I was like, I just saw the back of her head, like until the photo came out. I was like, that's what So it's a nice photo, but then all of the photos like that from that, she's just sitting there like with her sort of side. I think she was turned because of like COVID stuff.
Yeah,
I think. But it was just so funny that so I didn't really get to chat to her or anything, but she didn't even say hello. But she's got,
maybe she's quite old and can't hear, so maybe she didn't hear you, and that's why they were like, just sit here. Yeah. We'll get people in. We'll just do it.
I should have done the computer voice. Maybe I'd be like, Earth 2, glacier incoming. I should have said that. Maybe she would have looked round then if I was like, there's glacier, Miss Garrett. We need to reprogram the computer. Maybe that's what it was. But I'm so glad I got to have that photo with her at least.
Yeah.
Women of Who.
Women of Who.
Yeah. I should do a collage of Women of Who.
You always say this. I'm yet to see it happen. It's fine. We're busy people. We're very busy right now. So.
Katie Manning was obviously there, she was great. I had this cardigan on.
All right.
Yeah, and she said, "Oh, I like your woolly." Oh, I hope I've said that right.
I like that woolly too. I'm with her.
It's like, I did mean woolly. That's funny. So yeah, anyway, so that's the updates there. Okay, Death of the Daleks.
So we watched this like a few days ago, and then we've both been really busy since, which is why we're late recording. Oh, I've had a whole saga with a bed.
Okay.
Well, I'm just going to talk about it because it's on my mind. Ordered a new bed and sold my old one on Marketplace. And my new one was supposed to arrive like on Tuesday to Thursday. And I sold my old one on the Friday. So I was like, that's okay. I'll just do a weekend on the sofa. I've got a sofa bed. I'll do a weekend on the sofa bed. That's fine. And then new bed arrives, build it. To get some of it, I've still no sign of it being dispatched or anything. So I called them and I was like, can you like look into it? So listen to it. They got back to me. They're like, yeah, it's basically your order's got stuck in the system. So it's not even been sent to warehouse. We'll sort that now. It might be later. And I was like, well, hang on a minute. No, because I'm like sleeping on a bed on my sofa right now. I have no bed. If I hadn't called, this could have gone on forever sort of thing. Can you try and make sure it comes within like soon? Like, I don't want it coming beyond Thursday. Anyway, so the manager called me out. They're like, no, we're really sorry. New system, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get it to you for Thursday, which is the time within the time frame they said. I was like, that's fine. Because in my head, I'm like, okay, it's later than I thought, but it's still within the time frame. I'll get my bed by Thursday. So Thursday comes. It's in 3 parts, and one of the parts was like a completely different colour to the rest of the bed. I'm tamping. I'm so tired. My cat's waking me up at 7 every morning because I'm sleeping on her bed, aka the sofa. So, yeah, they just got the wrath of me. It was not good.
Is this the same sort of anger as when you don't get the takeaway delivered
this was
on
worse.
time? This was worse, everyone. Okay,
this was worse than takeaway.
Yeah, on the levels of your anger.
I was so angry. And then I was like, well, can I speak to the manager? Because they spoke to me the other day. I feel like such a Karen saying that. But anyway, I might speak to the manager. But I did. I was like, because I spoke to them and they sorted it. And the woman that was trying to sort it could only do so much. So she only had and she was like, well, they're working from home today. I was like, well, I work from home. Like, I've still got to do my job. That made it worse. So then I like ran back 3 hours later, like, they need to call me today. And then Friday, she did call me back, but I was like, no, this is not a convenient time for you to call me. I am busy. I've got work. You can call me again in half an hour. I should call me back yesterday when all this happened, but you didn't. So I was having a nightmare. I was so angry. So yeah, Monday.
So your levels of anger, I think, sort of towards the bottom of the scale is like when BritBox doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
Then sort of mid is takeaway being late or then up there a bit more.
Mid is takeaway being late. Higher is when it goes missing.
When it goes missing. Yeah. And then above that is the bed.
Yeah, without a doubt.
At least you're not having to sleep on an edge of destruction bed. At least you haven't got that weird
curvy bed. Yeah.
Sofa.
I don't know.
It's better than that.
And it's not bad. Like, it's just, I've been on it for over a week now, and it's a long time to just be sleeping on a sofa. Yeah. When I've got half a bed in my room.
Your rage is going to be Susan and the Scissors.
Oh my gosh. Susan and the Scissors was me on Thursday talking to the company that I won't name at this point. But, oh my gosh, I was raging. Yeah. Raging I was. So, Mark would have just been like, okay, well, if you get it out. And I'm like, ah! That's why we're different.
Okay. Right, well, let's go on to Death of the Daleks then. There's no segue from bed to that, but let's just...
It's because it's what's going on in my life. I'm really tired. I'm so tired.
Well, let's be thankful this is 4 episodes then.
I was thankful.
And it's a Terry Nation again, which I love, which is basically the Terry Nation template of a Dalek story. Although so it's quite fun.
It didn't feel too templatey, because normally they're 6.
Well, yeah, but you've got...
It was a condensed Terry.
Evening part... What? A condensed Terry. That's another drink.
It was a condensed Terry.
Because you've got the TARDIS breaks down, companion, doctor, separated, goes off investigating on their own.
Yeah.
You've got your group of your... Not your Thals this time, but your other space people.
You've got your female assistant being useless.
Yeah. You've got all of that. So he's got things in there. I haven't really watched this one very much. I'm not the biggest fan. I don't know. It's just one that I haven't...
When did you first watch it?
When it came out on DVD. Never had it on video or anything. So maybe I've watched it like twice before and never really concentrated.
Because we watched this together over a takeaway. And I was surprised how little... Like, you were surprised of things coming up as I was.
Yeah, I knew the basics, but I'd never watched it right through and really sort of taken it in. We've got the Doctor and Sarah Jane in the TARDIS. I don't like the way the TARDIS is lit. I know that's nitpicky, but it's just lit odd. There's something about it. It didn't look right.
It doesn't look like the TARDIS.
It didn't look like the TARDIS. It looked
I'm with you there.
And in this, okay, it's Terry Nation. Like we said before with Planet, he's a bit 60s, isn't he? So poor Sarah Jane is now not the journalist.
She's a journalist, ladies and gentlemen.
Anymore.
No.
She is the screaming companion a lot in this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And it's because it's a Terry Nation. Like, that's just how he writes his women.
And it's just weird stuff as well, like when the power goes off in the TARDIS, it's a crank handle that you've got to like open the door with.
Yeah.
And you've got Sarah, she's like cranking the handle, then there's something in there with her, and then she's cranking it back again, and you have to, like, stuff like that, which you're like, hang on a second, that's 60s, that's not
what we've been doing,
that's not now. So, like, what's your general enjoyment going into this? I mean, it's Daleks again, you're not a fan
I was just going to say, I'm never a fan of the Daleks, but it was only 4, so I felt good about that. They weren't too annoying, actually. Maybe the Daleks are growing on me.
Well, they've got to work with the Doctor and the
it doesn't happen for
people.
long, but
so that's interesting.
It's an interesting way, and it's interesting, like, I don't know, you kind of know them, so you know what they're about by this point. So anything that they do that's different to the norm, you're like, yeah, I'll go with that. It didn't last. I thought it would last longer than, like, an episode of, like... They literally were back in charge within an episode, wasn't it? They, like, agreed, and then we go into the next story, and as soon as they meet the, what were they calling them?
Exelons.
Yeah, but what was everyone else calling them? Not tribal, or...
Oh, just Exelons, I think, weren't they?
No, they were calling them, like... Anyway, the Exelons. I can't remember. My brain's gone. But the Exelons, as soon as they had, like, them under control, they were like, okay, we've got everyone under control now. We're back to being in charge. It didn't feel like they dominated the story.
No.
Which I liked because I'm not a Dalek fan. It felt like they were just part of it.
Well, so you're on this planet, Exelon, and something's draining all the power. So there's these Marine Space Corp group that are trapped there. Daleks land are trapped there. That's why the TARDIS has gone out of power. So they're all trapped there together. And apparently there's some sort of space virus. Again, that's a Terry Nation thing. Space virus is happening somewhere. That's why they've got to mine Exelon for this mineral to get the cure or something like that. Basically, space COVID is happening out there and they've come to find a cure.
And this will save, like, millions of lives.
Yeah. So then the Daleks can't fire or do anything because of the power drain. Sarah Jane is off on her own pretty much straight away. The bit that I didn't like at the beginning of this was all the Exelon sort of sacrificey stuff where she's being, like, taking in all the incense. It just went on and on and on. That's
also
what is
just happened. Like, I to the point, because I watched that first episode again. So I watched it, and then before you came over, you saw me watching, just going over it. And I was like, it just, like, she's there, and then next thing they're sacrificing her. Like, the next time we see them, they're doing a sacrifice of her. And I was like, where is this? Like, I know it's 4, right? So they're just moving it along quickly. But where did it come from? Like, you know, we don't know anything of these people, of this. Suddenly, like, okay, we're sacrificing her. Oh, shit, you're right.
But it went on the whole... That's all she did for a good couple of episodes.
Get smoked out, go out of it.
Yeah, and that was really disappointing because she'd had such a strong start, and she just goes straight down to be that character there. And the Exelons, I thought they were quite sort of scary. They're a bit skull-like with these rags, and they blend into the sand dunes and things. I think I like the idea of that. But when they're in that sacrifice scene, and you didn't like them, did you? You thought they were just masks.
They got better the more that I saw them in other things, but like when we saw them later without their cloaks on, you know, the good ones.
Well, the good ones, Bilal and his friend, the 2 biddies, they're a bit different.
They're a bit different.
They're good.
They haven't got a cloak on, that's why.
No, but the others are all got these, there's a lot of them as well.
Yeah.
But I never like in Doctor Who the sort of sacrificial chanting.
Well, unless it's
unless it's
with the Master. That was a good one.
Oh, the demons, that's a bit different, So it's a bit disappointing. And then the space people. I mean, we've got Jill.
You hate Jill.
I don't know.
Mark, very much
Jill.
from the start, Mark went, this is not a woman of who. And I was like, what? You're not even giving her a chance?
We always have to talk about Woman of Who, okay? That's just what we do now.
Yeah.
But Jill, she's a bit over the top.
It's over there.
And I think it's more the acting this time.
See, I think it's more the script than the acting. He does not write well for women.
I think it's just the way she's like, oh look, and when the Dalek's about to fire, she's like, no, like, and buries her head in the Doctor's shoulder.
Bad.
She is, and all of her lines are like, oh, what can we do? I feel like that's her acting.
I don't think she was that bad. I think like if your script line is oh no and oh what do we do? There's only so many ways with your very little limited character development capacity that you can actually deliver those lines, because he just doesn't write well for women.
No,
at all.
You liked her outfit though.
I loved her outfit. Her outfit was great. I don't know why. I just really liked it. I think like hers was slightly different, other than being a female, but it was a slightly different blue as well.
Okay, it's a nice blue.
Very Handmaid's Tale. What's her name? Serena. That blue.
Oh, Serena. What's her
Serena
surname?
Joy.
Serena. Yeah.
Yeah, Serena Joy blue.
Yeah. This group doesn't like I love the Thals in Planet of the Daleks, and you get to know all of them, and they got different characters. This lot didn't have those. I don't know, they all sort of blended in a little bit.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't have those personalities. There's always the dick one, that Scottish guy who's sort of working with the Daleks a little bit.
In my head, there were 4, right?
Yeah.
There were more than 4, but you had the commander that got killed almost straight away.
The commander that was out unconscious, and then who was in the bed in the spaceship that Jill was like, we're giving him aspirin or whatever. The Exelons take him out and capture him, and then he gets shot, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah,
someone
it's not
got
very
shot,
clear.
and I was like, who's been shot? Because they're all standing over there, and they can't be in 2 places at once. There's Jill, Scottish Dick guy.
Yeah.
And then either 2 others, or actually 1 other, I think, maybe.
I think there were 2, but one got killed straight away.
Killed as well.
So, one got killed almost straight away. So...
Oh, in the opening, someone gets killed.
Yeah. So, in my head, it was just the captain guy that tries to say, no, you're not going to be in charge, it's the other one. The Scottish guy, who's the dick, Jill, and I can't remember his name, so I'm going to call him Jack.
Well, okay, I should have his... Well, there's Commander. Who have we got? Dan, Richard, Jill, Peter, Commander. In my list. I don't know who's who.
Who's who? Yeah, they weren't distinctive in that sense.
And they tried to have that extra layer in the story of that, the sort of fight for command. But there's no point. You're all trying to get off the planet anyway.
It doesn't go
Whoever says, off you go and get this, like, you're working with the Daleks, you're not going to win.
No, also, it's not well, because it's not like he's like, well, no, I respect that this guy's in charge. If he'd have known he was in charge, I'm sure he would have fought more. But if we'd have seen that or heard that, but he's like, kind of like, no, he's in charge, we have to do what he says or whatever. So even if I don't agree with it, it's not very strong.
No, that part of it wasn't.
No.
And, okay, so Exelon's not particularly strong. Space Fleet people not particularly strong. As the story goes on, it gets a little bit better towards the end, I think, with the going into the city and all of the mazes and clues and puzzles and things. I like that part of it. Before we get to that, though, we're in the caves, and we have whatever that Hoover thing is. You know that Hoover thing that...
Oh, that, sorry. I went to Sandy. In my head when you said that, I meant Sandy, sorry.
That Hoover thing. And I was thinking, right, you are going to think this is absolutely ridiculous. And then you were like, wow, that's really effective. And I was like, are we watching the same thing here? Out of all the things you can say is really effective.
Look, I said what was effective. What? So it's because he enters and it sort of comes from nowhere. Yeah. And that's the sort of cliffhanger moment for that scene, because then they go back to Sarah and her thing. So that cliffhanger thing, he just enters and then you see the lights and it come up. And that is really effective.
Right.
That I agree. Like, the actual thing itself, once it starts moving and stuff, less effective. But that initial woo, and it comes up, and there's nothing there, so you're not looking on the ground. You're kind of looking ahead, so you don't see it. Then the lights, and it woo comes up, and I went, oh, that's effective. And you were like, what? And I was like, it was. And you went, Sarah, it's a Hoover. And by this point, when I'm arguing over Sarah Jane talking to what's their names, and then it goes back to it, and I was like, all right, yeah, fair. Now it's moving a bit more. It's not great.
I think the problem is, it doesn't look great because it's supposed to be, this sort of electronic snake thing, I suppose, in the script. But it is a Hoover thing with something on the end of it. And I think just the way it moves, you can tell they've tied a little bit of string and they're just pulling it up. So you can see it's at one point, it's sort of curved at one point, it's been pulled up. If they pull the whole thing up, it wouldn't have that, it's been hanging from a bit of string.
Yeah.
And when you see it outside,
it's even worse.
Even worse.
Yeah.
Because it's, the only good shot of it is when it sort of finished killing that. Oh, that poor Exelon in the water.
He would have got out of the water.
I mean, he was very slow. He wasn't
moving at all. At one point, like even his own acting was like, I'm just on the spot.
Yeah.
Like
he was so bad. We felt sorry for him.
We did feel sorry for him. We were like, no, I'm moving. And that scene like went on for so long. I was like, we've had like 4 cutbacks to this guy just on the spot walking. Fucking move, mate. Come on.
So it's there, and after it's killed him and it's sort of swimming in the water, it looks great and snake. But when it's pulled up on a bit of string outside, it's not like, I don't even know what it's supposed to be. It's something from the city, I suppose, or like some defense thing.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a defense thing, yeah. Because obviously it's a brain and it's clever.
But what is good, so you got Bilal, who makes friends with Sarah and the doctor. Bilal is really...
Hero of who?
He is. And he sort of glow... I like the way they've added the sort of glow onto him. Yeah. They've done that effect.
He's not going to cloak.
Friend. No, and he talks, he goes along, he's like... Like, he is... We
like him.
He is really cool.
Do you think they used the costume from Bok?
Oh, he is Bok-like, isn't it? Anything grey is Bok. Basically in your mind. Well, no, there's more detail this time.
There is on his face.
Rock-like. No, he's more rock-like all over.
On his body, I think it was a Bok costume, maybe a different head.
Isn't it? There's some stuff on.
Yeah,
but it looks all in one. You can't really move. It's not like there's a head, like a neck mask. It was all in one.
Are you sure?
I think they got him all in one. It looks like he's moulded into it.
I don't know.
There's him and his friend, who I'm not sure what his friend is called.
His friend doesn't say much, if anything.
It's more Bilal. It's all about Bilal.
Yeah, it is. We know where our loyalty is.
And I really love when Sarah meets him for the first time.
And she's a bit scared.
She's so good at doing that. She sort of touches him and is like, ugh, like just that.
Yeah.
She would be like that. I like the way that when she's acting like that, she thinks about those kind of things. I think she just goes to like pat him or something. And it's like,
she like touches him as in like reaction to it's a lot to take in. She does it really well. Rather than just like accepting what they say is her acting to that scene's really good.
Yeah, so she's strong in that way, and she doesn't have that much else to do for the rest of the story, because then it's Bilal and the doctor going through this city.
This is an odd story.
And I really like the city stuff and the puzzles and things, and the Daleks are after them.
It reminded me of which one does it remind me of?
Celestial Toymaker with all the games and things.
Reminded me of that.
It's a story where not much happens at all.
This is going to be, listeners, this is going to be really hard to talk about for too long, I think. I think this is going to be another short one. There's nothing bad or good here.
So we're watching Bilal and the Doctor go through all these tests, and you've got the Daleks up behind them. So it's, they got to do that test before the Daleks get through. And
all we kept thinking was, how are the Daleks doing that test? Like, even if they figure it out, they do not have...
Like the putting your finger on the maze thing.
I was like they've got a sucker. How are they doing it? They're a sucker. How will that work?
And in that lot is a really famous cliffhanger where they just walk around the corner and the Doctor's like, stop, don't move. And then it's the floor.
Stop, don't move.
And I think it was supposed to be the Daleks coming through at a point, but I think the running time was a bit out, so they had to put it in there. But it's very well known for this ridiculous cliffhanger where it's funny. Like, it's a tiled floor. So that's the moment of this story, I think.
It is stupid.
And they're going towards, and you're not really sure where they're heading towards, so you see that figure in the chair that disintegrates once they get there. And they sort of they spend all this time getting to the centre, and then they all have to run all the way back again.
The most disappointing thing was like, this all, like, they get to the tile again. He's like, will it be safe? He's like, yeah, it's fine. They just run across it, fine. Like, none of this matters anymore, sort of thing. I don't know. It was just an odd one. It wasn't bad, per se.
Well, the music.
Oh, the music's awful. The Dalek music.
That music, every time a Dalek comes around the corner, they get the clarinet out.
It's like plodding music.
Yeah, it's like, not suspenseful.
Wah, 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 wah. Like that's like sort of like and here we come.
It makes it more comedy. It doesn't make a threat. It doesn't make suspense.
Oh,
it just
every time the Daleks went, that music came on, and we were like, oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm watching some weird...
It's so repetitive
comedy
as well.
thing, yeah.
I mean, we'll get people being like, oh, the music's great, but... Sorry, it's not.
It's not.
It's not at all. It's
No.
not at all. Towards the end, Sarah and Jill get they put the mining stuff and swap that.
This was a great moment, actually, because he's terrible at writing for women. So it was really nice to see the women coming together and working out a plan that ends up fooling the Daleks. That was a great moment. And we don't see the payoff until the very, very end.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's happening. Sometimes you're in on it. We know they're doing something. We see them loading all the bags and stuff, but we miss out on the whole. And that's really cool. I thought that was really well done you. Good to you. You knew they were going to do something, but yeah.
And and the Doctor and Sarah, he can send her off now. He's like, you're not coming into the city, but I need you to do this. And she will, consider it's only her third story, off she goes and she does that. So... Do you like her character now? She's not as annoying. She's a bit more settled.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was after, I think, the third or fourth episode of that first story that I liked her. It was just the initial, I'm a reporter sort of thing that was annoying. All for the Sarahs.
Yeah, I like all those scenes. I've enjoyed her scenes most in this.
Yeah.
Because everything else was a bit bland, I think. And that Scottish one at the end, the one that we think is a bit of a traitor, he actually sacrifices himself.
Yeah, that was a good moment. But also it fit well with his mission. His whole mission was like, people will be sacrificed for the greater, and that included himself in this instance.
Yeah,
because he was like...
I think you can mistake him at the beginning just being a bit power mad and wanting to work with the Daleks and get things. But actually, they're all aiming towards the same thing, to get this mineral to sort out space COVID.
Everything will be space COVID from now on.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, if we just started this podcast pre-COVID times, I don't know space flu?
Yeah, we'd just be like, it's a bad flu.
Yeah, we both have flu. We know what that's like.
Yeah, I usually get it worse. But yeah, it's okay. It's an okay story. It's not in any... Well, I don't think it's anyone's top 10.
It's just a bit nothing, isn't it?
That's it.
And these are the hardest ones for us to talk about. So if this will... I have no doubt, other than the fact that I've padded it out with a story about my bed, this will be a very short recording, because it's really hard when it's just a bit meh. We've talked about the bad stuff. We've had worse.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not the worst. It's not...
the costumes overall weren't too bad.
There was just a lot of padding in this. All the fighting outside. There was a lot. There seemed to be always Exelons fighting things. Bash up all the Daleks for a long time.
The story was very vague. And actually, no one in that story, in terms of not the Doctor and Sarah Jane here, I'm talking about the others, but the Daleks, it didn't need to be it could have been any other monster that was trying to seek power. And it could have been any other thing trying to... This story did not define them to this narrative.
No.
Whereas other stories, it's only the Daleks could have done that. Or this completely fits the Daleks manifesto of taking over the world. There was no even now we're going to take over... up until around the very end, they were now we're going to take over the world. But it didn't even feel like that. I couldn't even understand why they were there and being powerless.
Were they trying to get the minerals as well?
I don't know. I don't even know why they appeared.
Do you know what? I don't think Terry Nation does. I think he's champagne. I'll just... I'm making so much money out of this. I'll just get bits from other stories, put them together again. Yeah. They won't notice it's the same. I don't even know why it's called Death of the Daleks, really. It doesn't describe the story.
It doesn't describe it in any way. It's just a really... the story... That's what I said. That's my review.
Yeah, condensed Terry is going to be... What's a really awful drink that we can name after? What's a horrible tasting drink?
No, because it's not... No, because we have the Terry Nation.
Yeah.
So what's in your Terry Nation, Mark?
What's in the Terry Nation?
Yeah, the Terry Nation.
The original was pineapple juice.
Yeah.
Something blue, which I can't remember what it was. And rum. It was a rum-based
Okay.
thing.
So maybe a condensed Terry Nation is rum and... something, the blue thing, served in half a pineapple. It's just the liquid's condensed, really tight and strong, and it's
That describes the story. There you go.
Yeah, it's just very condensed and icky and doesn't really fit, and it's served in a pineapple.
Okay. But highlights Bilal will definitely be up for supporting character and a bravery moment.
Oh, yeah. And actually, I think the guy that sacrificed himself might be up for bravery.
Yeah.
Commander?
His name, I'm not sure
We've
what
got
his name
till the
is.
Duskers to work out his name.
His name, he's just Scottish guy.
Scottish guy.
Which he sounded a bit American to me for he's very strong Scottish accent he's got.
Sometimes some Scottish accents can because if they're quite strong,
He was very strong, yeah. A lot of sand in this as well. I liked when, with the Doctor's boots, he's been in the quarry, and then in the studio, they put like dry sort of paint on to make him look like he's dry.
That.
It was walking around in the studio.
That's so funny.
With like dry,
I did not
boots.
notice that.
Very good detail there, whoever was in charge of his boots.
I said to you as well, it was really handy that they had that little thing to dive into, little hole in the quarry. You know, when they were getting shot at.
Yeah, when they're all shot, there's it was pre-dug pit, basically.
A pre-dug pit. They're just walking along, and then by chance, there is a pre-dug pit to hide in, as fate would allow. Yeah. That was handy.
Very handy.
Just the right angle that they don't get shot. Perfect.
And the number of Daleks is an issue as well, because there was like 4, and then loads get blown up, and there's still like I don't know how many there was supposed to be.
Because it made out at the start that I'm sure
he said
there was 4, and only 3 of them move.
Yeah, when they're talking, and then you've got the dummy one there. I think they only had 3 operators.
So the dummy one doesn't move, but then it gets blown up straight away. So I'm like, I get it. There's no point paying for like a person to be in it to be blown up. Okay. So then you're like, okay, so now there were 4, now there's 3. But then another one gets got down a cliff. And then later on, and then you've got the 2 going around the thing. And then at the end, there's definitely more than 2. So how many Daleks are there? There's a lot of... Someone do the maths for us and tell us, because like, it's very confusing.
Exactly. Yeah, someone needs to watch through and do a tally of which one's which. Someone will tell us that.
Oh, yeah, someone will. Please do.
Okay, well, there we are. Okay, well, I'll tell you the title of the next one.
Okay, you look excited.
Okay. It's 6 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's called The Monster of Peladon.
Oh, Peladon, we've been there.
Yeah.
We've been there.
I've been there before.
The Monster of Peladon.
Yeah.
So Peladon was the one with, what's his name's son?
The King.
Yeah, who
Patrick
wanted
Troughton's
to marry Jo.
Yeah.
Oh, with Alpha Centauri. I love Alpha Centauri. Okay. But they were just visiting. They were just the ones...
They were the delegates, weren't they?
Alpha Centauri was just a delegate. They weren't from Peladon, were they?
No, but they were...
No, but it was that story.
Well, we'll see if they've recovered from that last Oscars, because they were all drinking a lot, weren't they?
Oh my gosh, yeah, they were. It's a messy night.
So we'll see how they're getting on next time.
Do you know what? With Condensed Terry Nations at the next Oscars as well now.
We'll have to.
I think there'll be shots.
Yeah.
I think they'll just have to be shots.
Like a squashed frog shot.
No.
What's that?
I don't know.
I've had a squashed frog before. I think it was like yellow, very liqueur-y, very strong. They're quite
So
nice.
maybe a Condensed Terry Nation is a shot with like a slice of pineapple that you have to like eat after. You know how if you do a tequila shot, you have to do the salt and tequila. Condensed, you have to do the shot and then bite on a bit of pineapple.
It needs to be like
sweet.
sandy or grey to sum up this one. I don't know.
No, we're summing up Terry Nation, not the
okay, fine. Well, I don't know. Well, I made the original Terry Nation sort of bluey green because it's like alien-y.
He still fits that bill.
He does.
Just this one was very condensed.
I think
and
actually
sandy.
it should be a champagne cocktail because he's a millionaire after the Daleks.
Oh, that's
he's just
true.
like going to America. He went to live in America and he's like champagne.
It really should. Okay, I tell you what, new thing. Anyone that can make a Condensed Terry Nation, something tasty, champagne based.
That could be a competition. Send in your Terry Nation cocktail idea.
We're all for it. Because Mark drank his and then pulled a
Send it
face.
in, and then we can try them out. We'll make them.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
Okay. And then we'll record.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, or it don't have to be alcoholic. It could be a nice non-alcoholic drink.
Yeah, of course it can.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what a Condensed Terry Nation
That's
is.
what it is, the non-alcoholic version.
It could be.
Yeah.
You tell us, listeners, tell us what the Condensed Terry Nation is.
Yeah.
We will drink it.
Yeah. Okay then. Well, we'll see you next week for the Monster of Peladon then. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 2watchwho, and you can support us at buymeacoffee.com/2watchwho. And also, can I just say thanks for everyone for signing the Neighbours petition that we tweeted out. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it. It's got. I think it is the end.
Yeah.
There's still no, even at this point, there is still no broadcaster that's picked it up. I think there was hope for ITV, but so sad times. And also, just to update as well, sorry.
We are a Doctor Who podcast.
I am trying to get that guy, you know, the guy that
the
DVDs. So I did get in touch.
Oh.
And I was like, look, I've got...
Why didn't you start with this?
So I know I forgot. So I've got quite a lot done.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, I've got from this episode to this episode, I've done all these. Once the box is full, I'm going to send you, I've got 40 DVDs done and a load of VHS because I want to get rid of them anyway.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, I need, from this episode onwards, I need this. And he's been very certain now on which episodes. He's like, well, what? I know, I don't want these ones, I want these ones. I'm like, look, I'm just sending you what I've got here. You can sort it out. I'm not now getting into this whole thing about exactly the episode that you need. I'm like, because I said it's from this one to this one. These are the years. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
And now someone else has tweeted me being like, have you got these on VHS? I've got a new person that wants them, which I've not responded to because I can't even start another one of these.
No.
Because I think now, because it's not on, people are going to be like...
Do you think maybe it's the same guy, but he set up another account?
I thought that because I looked on the Twitter and there's no other followers or anything
I reckon that's him.
I think he set up another account.
Just to see if you'll respond.
I literally responded and then I'm just ignoring again. It's 6 messages a day. I can't keep... This conversation just starts round again.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm hoping once I've sent this box off, that will, keep them quiet for a bit, but I can't stop.
Well, I'm not sure how I feel about #SaveNeighbours if this is how things are going.
But at least if it does finish, he will have a final collection one day. Do you know what I mean? It's not ongoing. It's not the... Then he'll stop and then it's done and then he can't ask for any more.
Yeah, but he'll be constantly chasing for more.
Yeah, I know.
So he'll need the collection.
Yeah, I know. I haven't
It's
got
like Pokemon, got to catch them all.
Once I've done my bit, I've done my bit. That's it. You have to be... I can't believe this. It's nearly a year now. It's nearly a year.
I know.
This has been going on. But anyway, thank you everyone for trying to save neighbours. We'll see what happens.
We're a Doctor Who podcast. Thank you for your support.
There we go. Yep. See you next time.
Bye.
To watch who?